I'm going to read to you a story about Mary Delaney. Mary Delaney was a fantastic artist in the 1700s. Can't imagine, can't remember the exact date. Anyway, she was 72 years old when she reinvented herself, recreated herself. She went broke. Her husband didn't leave her any money. She was a widow, and she was totally desperate, and was very lucky because a friend of hers invited her to live with her. Her friend was none other than the Duchess of Portland, and this was in England, and like I said, in the 1700s. So let me get on to the article, but before I do that, I wanted to tell you why I'm speaking about Mary Delaney, because she created a whole group of artworks that were collages of flowers, paper flowers that she cut with little scissors, big scissors, and created the most beautiful collages, beautiful pieces of work. You're going to love that. And guess where they are? In one of the largest museums in London. The article is Mary Delaney's Paper Flowers, an extraordinary story of reinvention at 72. And I think it's really important to read about women and men who have started new things, new careers, new hobbies at the age of 50, 60, 70, 80s and more. Because it's really never too late. And I'm always getting this question or this comment like, oh, I'm not going to go to that class or learn this or that. It's already too late. I'm already in my 50s. You know, what if? No. Go ahead, really do this. So let's talk about Mary Delaney. At 72, she was widowed, she was broke, and had nowhere to live. Then she picked up a pair of scissors, and it all changed. One day in the 1770s, her friend, oh, this is in England. I think I mentioned that at the beginning, right? Her friend, the Duchess of Portland, invited her to live in her estate because she had nowhere to live and the Duchess wanted to help her. What a lifesaver. Delaney couldn't believe her luck. And now she had a roof over her head. Mary Delaney began creating her delicate flower collage as a hobby at the Duchess's home. The Duchess of Portland loved her artwork and showed it to her friends who started buying them and spreading the word. So she slowly started building a career. These collages are now part of the British Museum. And I find that amazing. I love this story. Who knew, right? From tiny little collages, you know, broke, upset, and not knowing what to do. And all of a sudden it's in the museum. Now, it didn't go to the museum right there and then. They're at the museum now. But still, they're at the museum. So I was going through my own reinvention when I stumbled upon Mary Delaney. It's so hard to restart or reinvent our lives after 40, after 50 or 60. So when I read about her starting her life again in her 70s and doing so with paper flowers of all things, I just had to buy her book. Mary Delaney loved doing her paper flowers, and I imagine that her paper collages were the perfect hobby for a lady in the 1700s. I wonder if she ever thought she would be selling them. I don't think she did. I think she really did it while she was there sitting around with her friend and enjoying an afternoon, and it was just something to do, and I think that's how it started. But I don't know that part yet, or I don't know that part at all. I hear over and over that we should do what we know and what we like. I think it's great advice. But to have a hobby, become a business, and then end up in a museum, even if it's post-mortem, is something else. That's inspiring. So I felt I should not give up my watercolors and my photography, even though they do look a little bit naive, my drawings. My photography isn't naive at all. But anyways, does art imitate life or the other way around? How do you feel about paper flowers? Many people don't like paper imitations of nature or of anything. I love them. There's some really fantastic things out there. Anyways, these flowers, especially nowadays, aren't all trying to imitate nature, and many are used to create new fun forms. They're not made to decorate a corner, nor are they just for a vase. Many of these flowers are bold and have great presence. Nature is their muse. Mary Delaney's obsession isn't as rare as you think. Paper flowers are still celebrated and they are considered a serious art nowadays. I keep saying nowadays because in the old days, Well, I'm not sure, but I know nowadays it's changed. And I do remember when I was growing up, people go, oh gosh, paper flowers, they just accumulate dust and I don't know what else. Clean it up, dust it off, and it's going to look wonderful. But let's go back to the paper flowers, because in August, every year, there's a fantastic festival, Paper Flower Festival, in Campo Maior in Portugal. I went to the flower festival in Campo Maior when I lived in Elvas. I didn't know what to expect, but my neighbor described it with such enthusiasm, I just had to go. I arrived early to avoid the crowd and the heat, because August is really hot in the Alentejo. When I walked onto the main street of the festival, my mood changed completely. I was surrounded by flowers and I was shaded by paper flowers above me, and the streets looked really beautiful. They were larger than life flowers. There were daily themed tableaux hung on the stalls, and people were still hanging things and chatting and having a great time. So August is the month to go to Campo Maior and remember Mary Delaney. And if you're ready to start a hobby and you think you're too old, start the hobby. Forget thinking about your age.